May you please bow your heads and close your eyes. Dear Lord, I thank you for bringing us today, waking us this morning and coming to this ceremony. But I thank you, Lord, for bringing us here and enjoying this day, we had a lot, went through a lot this year. Amen.
You may be seated. And then we have Miss Cruz, who is our Spanish teacher, Miss Benna. That was from 10th grade. I'm so sorry. They all look similar. What's your name? Miss Burke. Our math teacher. We have Miss D, who is or Miss D Honiesto, who is our English teacher, who would not let up on us about facts or anything. We have Miss Donna, our head of school, Miss Joel Robinson, who would be up here, Mr. Eric Wagner, and finally, our principal and close person to me, Mom Dewey. We've been together 14 years. Oh, this is coming. Don't worry. Just wait till I give my speech. Our principal, Miss Saber Louise Pelham Selling. I remember when she wasn't married, trust me. And now I would like to introduce to the stage Miss Dawn Helm.
Good morning, everyone. I'm not the only kid who grew up this way, surrounded by people who used to say that rhyme about sticks and stones as if broken bones hurt more than the names we got called, and we got called them all. So we grew up believing no one would ever fall in love with us, that we'd be lonely forever, that we'd never meet someone to make us feel like the sun was something they built for us in their soul shed. So broken heartstrings bled the blues as we tried to empty ourselves so we would feel nothing. Don't tell me that hurts less than a broken bone, that an ingrown life is something surgeons can cut away, that there's no way for it to metastasize. It does. She was 8 years old our first day of grade 3, when she got called ugly. We both got moved to the back of the class so we would stop getting bombarded by spitballs. But the school halls were a battleground that we found ourselves outnumbered day after wretched day. We used to stay inside for recess because outside was worse. Outside we'd have to rehearse running away or learn to stay still like statues giving no clues that we were there. In grade 5, they taped a sign to her desk that read, "Beware of dog." To this day, despite a loving husband, she does not think she's beautiful because of the birthmark that takes up a little less than half of her face. Kids used to say that she looks like a wrong answer that someone tried to raise but couldn't quite get the job done. And they'll never understand that she's raising 2 kids whose definition of beauty begins with the word mom. Because they see her heart before they see her skin, because she's always only ever been amazing. He was a broken branch, grafted onto a different family tree, adopted. Not because his parents opted for a different destiny. He was there when he became a mixed strength, 1 part left alone and 2 parts tragedy. Started therapy in 8th grade, had a personality made up of tests and pills, lived like the uphills were mountains and the downhills were cliffs. 4/5 suicidal, a tidal wave of antidepressants, and an adolescence of being called pauper. 99 parts because of the cruelty. He tried to kill himself in grade 10 when a kid who could not go home to mom and dad had the audacity to tell him to get over it, as if depression is something that can be remedied by any of the contents found in a first aid kit. To this day, he is a stick of TNT lit from both ends, could describe to you in detail the way the sky bends and the moments before it's about to fall. And despite an army of friends who all call him an inspiration, he remains a conversation piece between people who can't understand. Sometimes becoming drug-free has less to do with the addiction and more to do with sanity. We weren't the only kids who grew up this way. To this day, kids are still being called names. The classics were, hey stupid, hey spaz. Seems like each school has an arsenal of names getting updated every year. And if a kid breaks in school and no one around chooses to hear, do they make a sound? Are they just the background noise of a soundtrack stuck on repeat? When people say things like kids can be cruel. Every school was a big top circus tent, and the pecking order went from acrobats to lion tamers, from clowns to carnies. All these were miles ahead of who we were. We were freaks. Lobster claws, boys and bearded ladies, oddities, juggling depression and loneliness, playing solitary spin the bottle, trying to kiss the wounded parts of ourselves and heal. But at night, while the others slept, we kept walking the tightrope. It was practice. And yes, some of us fell. But I want to tell them that all of this is just debris, left over when we finally decide to stash all the things we thought we used to be. And if you can't see anything beautiful about yourself, get a better mirror, look a little closer, stare a little bit longer, because there's something inside you that made you keep trying despite everyone who told us to quit. You built a cast around your broken heart and you signed it yourself. You signed it they were wrong, because maybe you didn't belong to a group or a cliche. Maybe they decided to pick you last for basketball or everything. Maybe you used to bring bruises and broken teeth to show and tell, but you never told. Because how can you hold your ground if everyone around you wants to bury you beneath it? You have to believe that they were wrong. They have to be. Why else would we still be here? We grew up learning to cheer up on the underdog because we see ourselves in them. We stem from a root planted in the belief that we are not what we were called. We are not abandoned cars stalled out and sitting empty on a highway. And if in some way we are, don't worry. We only got out to walk and get gas. We are graduating members from the class of 2020. Not the faded echoes of voices crying out, names will never hurt me. Of course they did. But our lives will only always continue to be a balancing act that has less to do with the pain and more to do with the beauty.
At this time, we're going to welcome to the stage Diana Rios and Kyla Herrera. This will be the last graduation they dance at, because after these 16 students walk out of here today, they become the new senior class. We've watched them grow up, we've seen them dance, and today is their last graduation dance. So welcome them.
Time to get distracted. And this is not a time to go off course. This is not a time to lose your focus. Got a work to do for the Lord. And you cannot afford to lose your way. You come too far from where you started. So please don't let the time you sow be wasted on things that you later regret, wishing you never had. Once you realize it wasn't worth it, your destiny temptation, waiting on the other side of this test is everything you've ever dreamed, everything you prayed for, everything he promised you that you'd get. Waiting on the other side of temptation, waiting on the other side of this test is everything you've ever dreamed, everything you prayed for, everything he promised you that you'd get. So hold on and don't let go. Hold on, you just take a long hold on and never give up. Hold on, hold on, hold on and don't let go. Hold on, 'cause you just take a long hold on and never give up. Hold on, say hold on, say it's only a matter of time, 'cause I can see the finish line. My victory is days away, so I get ready. It's been a long time coming, but I know it's coming for sure. I got a promise from the Lord, yeah. Waiting on the other side of temptation, waiting on the other side of this test is everything you've ever dreamed, everything you prayed for, everything he promised you.
A special presentation by the senior class.
We would like to give a special thank you to one of our faculty members. Miss Cruz has been here at every function because of coronavirus. Our last day she was here, she doesn't have all of us for her classes. She only has about 5 or 6. And we just all want to personally thank you because it did mean a lot to us when you came and nobody else would. So thank you so much. Now this next one, we'll try not to cry. Miss Deborah. I can't do it. Okay. Miss Deborah, you've been with us. We were your first class. Me, Kalia, who's in the audience right now, Logan. Oh, he wasn't there. Hold on. You aren't as long as the rest of us. Samantha and I. You've slapped us in the back of the head when we needed it. You pushed us when we needed it. When we gave up on ourselves, you never gave up on us. You've been in our lives every year since we were 3, 2. Samantha before she was born. And we can't thank you enough for what you've done for us. You're an amazing person. You've done so much for each one of us. We all know who's the favorite. Okay. Oh, I totally forgot. You go ahead. And now Logan Rourke. Victoria.
Good afternoon. We as a class are here to get our diplomas and leave. But before we leave, I would like to talk about some things that we should be thankful for from our past 4 years as students. First, we should be thankful for Miss Sabra. She has worked tirelessly to help us get to where we are. She has cared for us when we needed it and shown us love. To many of us, she has become like our second mother. None of us would be in here today if not for her. I thank you, Miss Sabra. Next, we should be thankful for our teachers. Though it may not always seem like it, our teachers care about us and want us to succeed. They have devoted their lives to teaching us and training us. They have done their best to prepare us for what comes next, and whether you decide to continue your education or not, we will benefit from the things they have taught us. I thank you, teachers. We should also be thankful for our families. These past 4 years, and especially these last few months, have presented us with a plethora of hardships and challenges. It's good to know that we had our family and our corners to back us up. They have supported us every step of the way, even when they didn't have to. I thank you, families. Finally, we should be thankful for each other. We have made lifelong friendships, and I would consider many of you to be my family. We have supported each other and helped each other get through high school. I hope we can support each other the same way in the real world. I thank you, fellow graduates. When you leave here today, try not to think of this high school as a thing you hated going to every day, but as a good thing filled with love and support that has prepared us for the future. Congratulations, class of 2020, and good luck. And please welcome to the stage, head of school, Ms. Donna Stables.
Good afternoon. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing your most prized possession, your children, with us. There is no one on the stage that takes that lightly, and we know how valuable they are to you because they are valuable to us as well. And to you, graduates, congratulations. And I just want to share a few things with you. And the first thing being is that no matter what you have heard throughout your life, you are here for a plan and a purpose. My mother had me when she was 40, and they were going through a divorce. So everyone growing up said it jokingly that I was an accident. Well, through life, you understand that only God can create life. So only God created you, and only God created you for his plan and purpose. There are no accidents. There is no other reason you're here other than God established in Genesis 1:1. God created the heavens and the earth. He established his name at the very beginning as the creator. So no one else created you. No one else, nothing could happen without God bringing his breath into you. And then when he brought that into you, he breathed life into you. So you are here because God created you, and please do not let anybody else tell you anything different. Second of all, in saying that God created you, in Isaiah 43:1, and I'll read you the King James Version, he says, "But now saith the Lord that created thee, O Jacob, and that he formed thee, O Israel. Fear not, for I have redeemed thee, and I have called thee by name, and thou art mine." So, as you go out today, you are not going out alone. You are sealed with the crest of God. I know you have all been taught the Word of God. You've all been introduced to the way of salvation. You have all had the opportunity to have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. And I encourage you, I believe every one of you are saved and sealed by the blood. But if you're not, before you leave today, talk to one of us. Pray with one of us. And let's make sure, because God created you, and he called you, and he formed you. And as you go out, you're not going alone. You have your family, you have all of these people, and most of all, you have God. He has sealed you as his. And then lastly, you are created for such a time as this. Let me get back to my notes. And that verse comes from Esther 4:13 and 14. And I'll read it and then I'll explain it briefly. It says, "Then Mordecai told them to reply to Esther, 'Do not imagine that you are in the king's palace can escape any more than all the Jews. For if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance will arise for the Jews from another place, and you and your father's house will perish. And who knows whether you have attained royalty for such a time as this?'" Most people look at that and they're wondering, but the gist of it is that even though Esther was in the palace, she was no more protected from anybody else other than by the hand of God. She was protected for such a time as this. And that's when you are protected through COVID, through everything going on in the world, through everything that is happening. You were created for such a time as this to bring in the next steps that God has for you to do. Don't let anyone call you out of your name by something else. You're not worthless. You're not this. You're not that. You're a child of God, and you have gifts and talents that God has put in your heart just for Him and for His purpose. And as you go out there today, hopefully all of these educators on the stage have not told you what to think, but they have told you how to think. They have taught you how to find answers in the Word of God, how to do your research on the computer so that you can find for yourself what you believe in. Not what your parents believe in, or not what one of us on the stage believe in, and what we find is important, but what do you find is important in your heart, and what are you going to stand up, and what are you going to do? And lastly, no matter what, God is still on the throne. Through your successes, through your failures, through the ups and downs of this world, God is still on the throne. Don't fall into the trap of if you have a failure. Get back up, evaluate the situation, see what you could have done different. Some situations you couldn't have done anything different. It just was the way it was. But there are times that we are, by our choices, we are our worst own enemy. So during those times, evaluate and say, okay, this is where I made my mistake. Take accountability, say I did it, pay the consequences, and move forward. Just get back up because God is still on the throne. And through all the things that you're going out into the world, and I would not want to be in your shoes, beginning my life going into the world that we are in today. But you can do it, and just understand that God is on the throne, and don't fall for the traps of the division and everything that's going on. Because that's when, during these times, that we question whether God is on the throne or not, and we become disappointed, or we hear this group saying this and this group saying this, then we fall in that trap and we get confused. But there's a great freedom in knowing that God has created you for such a time as this. He's on the throne, He's a sovereign God, and He is at work on your behalf. So congratulations, graduates of 2020. As you leave, remember, you are ready for such as a time as this. Thank you.
I would like to welcome to the stage our salutatorian, Linda Appley.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming, and I'm at a loss for words. This is my last year in high school. It's my last day. It's been a long road for each and every one of us. We've all been through trials and tribulations. We've all overcome them because, as far as I know, we're all graduating. And I just want to say I'm so proud of each and every one of you for graduating, and I'm honored to graduate beside you. I would like to thank Mr. Greg Selling, sitting right there. He took me under his wing and became a father figure to me when I didn't know I needed one, or I didn't know I had one. I remember waking him up at 6 a.m. when I was little because that's what I was used to. And I would wake him up on a Saturday and tell him it's time to go to work. And he would yell at me and tell me to go back to bed. I'm gonna miss you're still gonna give me speeches about how it's better to maintain A's than bring up F's. I've already gotten a time management speech last night about college. You're always gonna wring my neck, and you're always gonna tell me what I don't want to hear when I need to hear it. It's not what I want to hear, but it's what I need. So I thank you for that. Miss Abra, again, we've been through everything. We've been through a lot. You and me both don't know why we're so close. It just happened one day. We just started being close when I was little. Maybe it was from you beating me every day, but that's besides the point. I was a bad child when I was younger. I found my behavior card like a year ago. I had straight fives, and fives is like the worst. That's when you get like a phone call home. So I would get a beating from her, and then I would get a beating from my mom when I got home. Because she would call my mom directly. She would be like, hey, Smart, you know what your daughter did today? Yeah, she didn't even have to read my planner. And, but once I had left your class, I was good, so maybe I just wanted attention from you on this. But thank you for straightening me out and being on my neck about every single little detail. You may think that rap in your car was a senior prank. Oh wait, baby. Oh wait. She's scared of palmetto bugs, guys. But sincerely, thank you for everything you've done for me. You've helped me in more ways than you can know. Just being a person to talk to, not being judgmental. That's hard to find in adults these days. And you've just really been a great godmother, friend, family friend, everything. So thank you so much. And for my mom, which I thought was unfair. You thought I wasn't going to address the family? My mother. Ahem. My mother. Thank you for every single sacrifice that you went through. You've worked 3 jobs my entire life. Today, as of today, you still have 3 jobs. I watched you starve yourself so that I could eat and a roof over my head. Thank you so much. I can't express how thankful I am for you. You're my rock. You're my heart. And you before. You're everything to me. You're my everything. And I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be graduating. I wouldn't be in this situation right now if it wasn't for you. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And now please welcome to the stage Reverend Joel Robinson.
Good afternoon. You can talk back. Good afternoon. I've seen enough tears in the front row to cry myself. Amen. It is a blessing to be here to the class of 2020. Come on, clap your hands for them. It is a wonderful thing to be able to graduate and say I made it. To the head of school, Ms. Donna, Ms. Sabra, all the teachers, administrators, and staff, Lottie Dottie, and everybody. It is a blessing to be alive. I'm a preacher, so you can say amen. All right. It is a blessing to be alive. It is such a wonderful thing to be here and to see you all off. You guys have grown exponentially, and it's a wonderful thing to be able to get ready to walk away and be proud of what you've done. Before I even start, I want you all to do me a favor. All the graduates, please stand. Need you to face that way and clap for all of your supporters. I know they want to thank you all for what you have done for them. And if it had not been for you helping them, they would not be in these cap and gowns today. So one more time, give a shout out for your supporters. You may take your seats. I want to talk to you today from a subject. This subject is called Fix Your Focus. Fix your focus. A father talked to his daughter as she's graduated. He said, congratulations, baby. You've graduated with honors. Since you graduated with honors, I have a present for you. It is a car. I acquired this car a few years ago, but before you do anything to the car, I want you to take it a couple of places. The first place I want you to take it is to the used car lot downtown. Ask them how much they will give you for it. She took it downtown and she brought it back to her dad. She said, Dad, they said they'd give me $1,000 for the car. She said, because they said it looks worn out. He said, take it to the pawn shop and see how much they would give you as an appraisal at the pawn shop. She went to the pawn shop, came back to her dismay, her father. She said, Dad, they said they'd give me $100 for the car. She said, because they said it looks old. He said, now I want you to take it to the classic car area. Go down and take it to where they do the automotive car club. Take it to the car club. She went to the car club, came back to her dad excited, and she said, Dad, they offered me $100,000 for the car. He said, okay, baby, pay attention to what just happened. She said, the used car lot gave you $1,000. The pawn shop said 100, but the car club said 100,000. What I want you to understand is you must know who values things the right way. They said, watch where you go because everybody won't give you your value. When you are devalued, don't get mad. Just know you're in the wrong place. And I want to tell you all, I'm not talking to them behind you, I'm talking to y'all. I want you to understand that sometimes in life you will be devalued, but you have to have your own value. You have to understand that no matter who's around you, the most important thing in your life is that God has his hand on your life and that he has honored you enough to have you in this place. And so no matter where you go, you are valuable. You are precious in his sight. You're precious in your own. So you cannot allow somebody to devalue you because you will go certain places. You will go certain places and certain things. And I don't know where you're going after today. After today, you might be going to college. After today, you might be starting your job. Wherever it is, just know that you need to go to the place that gives you the best value. Diamonds, I heard, are a girl's best friend. And since diamonds are a girl's best friend, I want to tell you, you're not just a girl's best friend. You are God's choice pick. And since you are God's choice pick, you are a diamond. Do me a favor. I'm not talking to them. I'm talking to y'all. Tell yourself, I'm a diamond. You're a diamond because diamonds are wonderful. Diamonds are sparkly and cute, but diamonds come from one beautiful aspect. They are made under three things. Three things, I want to let you go. Three things that make a diamond is pressure, heat, and time. Let me say that again. Diamonds are made under pressure, heat, and time. In this world you live in, you have not had it good. You've had some rough dealings. When you were first born as a baby, there's something happened in the year that you were born. 2001, September 11th, we faced a conglomerate of bad situations. There were some hijackers who took some planes and did some things to try to stop future. But what happened is that God still preserved you as a child. Now here you are 19 years later. In the place of graduation, there are two things I know that are important in every person's life. That's the day you were born and the day you graduate. And it seems like every time you turn around, there is something bad happening, whether you were born in 9/11. Here we are in 2020. You've done all you can to try to be the best you are. But here comes Corona. Here comes racism. Here comes the things that nobody really wants to deal with, but you had to deal with them. And I want to take my hat off to you today and say thank you. Thank you for being such a classy act when you could have acted a mess. Thank you for being such wonderful children, wonderful people who come to adulthood because you've done what you're supposed to do. So you didn't allow things to stop you. As a diamond, these three things are important. I want to tell you what you've been through. The first thing you've been through is pressure. You've been through pressure. Let everybody behind them say pressure. My grandmama, she's 100. She'll be 101 this year. I love my grandmama. Y'all heard what I said? I love my grandmama. My grandma is the bomb.com. My grandmama knows exactly what to do. What happened is that my grandmama and my granddaddy grew up in Alabama. They have a nice place of land in Alabama, and grandmama, is called a homemaker. My granddaddy, he was an entrepreneur, but my grandmother was a homemaker. One thing my grandmother did, she had this jar. It's a mason jar. It's clear to see, and she would make fruit. She would plant plants, and she would do wonderful things. Well, I used to like my grandmama's strawberries, blueberries. I'm kind of hungry right now. And she would put them together in this mason jar. After she put them in the mason jar, she would take the lid and close it real tight, and I would hear a sound. And I say, Grandma, what's that sound? She said, that's a seal. What happens is the pressure is held inside of the mason jar. What it does, it serves and it preserves what's inside of it. What happens is that if you look at the mason jar, put it in the refrigerator, now you can save the mason jar for about 1 year to 2 years because it's been preserved in a certain thing. Not because it's so good, but because it has the pressure of a seal. And I want to let you know today, you have the pressure of a seal. You have been through so many things, but God has some kind of way preserved you in your stuff. You know sometimes you didn't do always the right thing. You've been through 12 to 13 years of school. You've been taking test after test. You've been doing quiz after quiz. You've been having annoying teacher after annoying teacher. But regardless of that, God has some kind of way put something inside of you and sealed it so he can use it for the later. Today is not just a regular day. This is the start of your life. Today, after you walk away from this today, you're gonna understand that you have been under pressure, but you cannot pop under pressure no matter how much I shook the mason jar, no matter how much I tried to dig in the mason jar. It's not till I pop the top and open the seal is when the goodness came out. And I want to tell you, the best is yet to come. I don't care what anyone has told you. I don't care how hard it was to get to this point. The best in your life is yet to come. You cannot allow what has already happened to stop you from where you have to go. The best is yet to come. You're under pressure. The diamonds start with pressure. After pressure, you must understand there is heat. Everybody say heat. I don't really like heat. We live in Jacksonville, Florida. I don't know if y'all been outside lately. But it's overcast and it's still about 95 degrees. But I found out one thing, that in heat, there are certain things that start to fall off in heat. In a diamond, the diamond is not made from coal. A diamond is made from an igneous rock. And it is 3 to 4 million miles under the earth. It has been preserved for a long time, but when the heat is put to the rock, then what happens is, what actually happens is the heat moves the extra area of junk and decay. And when it moves that, the diamond must come out. And I want to tell you, you all have been through enough heat to fall on your face. You have been through enough circumstances and enough situations. I'm not talking about as adults. I'm talking about as teenagers. You've been depressed and down and out. And I love the poem that she read, because the poem was so on time. It talked about how many times you've been in trouble and how people have miscounted you and discounted you and told you that you would not be anything. But the heat does not make you bitter. The heat should make you better. Don't allow what you've been dealing with to stop you from being successful as you are, as wonderful as you are, as great as you are. You have the heat. The heat is not to make you wrong. It's to make you right. So I'm glad that you've been through what you've been through. I'm glad you faced the situations and circumstances that you faced, because if you had not done that, the stuff that you know that should have been come off of you should not have come off of you. So you don't lie like you used to lie. You don't say what you used to say. You don't talk about people like you used to talk about people, because you've been under enough fire your own self to know that if it had not been for the Lord who was on your side, I'm not preaching, where would I be? Not only was it pressure, not only was it heat, but the last thing I want to talk to you about is time. Everybody say time. Right? Time is very important. There was a poem by Cheryl Hundley, and it goes like this.
it's your time. Dry your tears. Heal your heart. It had to end so you could start. Down your path, you need to go. The world away, it's time to show. Your grace and style, your own way. It's your life. Start living today. I want to suggest to you today, before you go any further, I congratulate you for how far you've gone. But there is yet more road ahead. In the road that is to come to head, I want you to do me a favor. Do me a huge favor, because tonight is party night. It's graduation, and if anybody in the house is an adult and is grown and we've been through graduation, all we want to do at the end of the day is turn up. All we want to do is right foot up, left foot slide. All we want to do is listen to I'm a Savage. I ain't gonna finish it, but what I want you to do is do like we've learned to do and be responsible. You must understand. I understand you gotta party, you gotta have fun, enjoy your time, but be responsible. There is a statistic that I don't want to give you, but even on graduation night, many children lose their life. On graduation night, they drink just a little too much. On graduation night, they take too many hits of the weed. So I want to encourage you, be responsible enough to know that your focus is not fixed on today, but fix your focus on tomorrow. Fix your focus on where you have to go. Your future should be brighter than what you've seen before, but you cannot allow tonight to stop you from the next day. You cannot allow the last minute to stop you from the next hour. You must be vigilant. You must be powerful enough to know that enough is enough. And if you can't value me the way I'm supposed to be valued, my focus is in the right place. There was a song a long time ago. It goes like this. My future's so bright. I ain't got nobody in here. I gotta wear shades. It was a song, old song. It talks about how he was discussing his future and where he had to go. He did not rely on where he was. He understood his life was a diamond mine. And people, you must understand you are diamonds. And in your mindset and in your heart, no matter what you might face, no matter what you might deal with, know that those three things make you who you are. Those three things are very important to your life. If you are not going through these three things, then you might be doing something wrong. But I'm so glad you don't have that testimony, because you faced enough pressure, heat, and time to go anywhere to say, I have survived. I have been through the rough times and the terrain, but I have survived. I've been through hard times and tribulations, but I have survived. You can look at your own life, no matter how old you are, whether you're 18 or 21, you can say you have survived. So I want to take my hat off one more time and congratulate you. But don't stop here. Tomorrow is coming. And when tomorrow comes, you can stand up and say, I got my focus fixed right, and I know exactly where I'm going. I'm headed somewhere. I'm not headed down, but I'm headed up. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. I'm headed somewhere. I'm not down and depressed because everything is going on around me. I take what I'm doing, my pressure, my problems, and my time, and I put them together. I notice one thing about a car, and I'm letting you go. One thing about a car I love, it'll teach you about life. You must understand that your negatives and your positives have to work together, because they will work. If you don't believe me, check under the hood of a car. If you look at a battery, you look at the battery, they have a positive charge and a negative part. I'm sorry, I feel like preaching. You have a positive charge and a negative charge. But you must not have two positives, or you cannot have two negatives. It must be a negative and a positive. The reason being is because they have to work together. And the Bible declares, for all things, I got some help in here, work together for the good of them that love the Lord. And I want to encourage you today, fix your focus. Don't be distracted by side shows. Don't be distracted by beautiful girls and handsome men. Don't be distracted by other things just in money. It's more than buying red bottom shoes. It's more than getting a 500 with 22s on it. It's way more than getting the car of your dreams and the house of your dreams and your picture in the magazine. It's really important that you fix your focus straight ahead. The Bible declares, I will lift up mine eyes to the hills from which cometh my help. All of my help coming from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. God bless you.
if we're getting ready for the time that we've all waited for, diplomas, isn't that what we're here for, guys? Well, it sounds like y'all were meeting people. That didn't sound like very much excitement. Y'all want your diplomas? Okay, I need to ask anyone that's in the back or on this side if you will make room because they need to walk through. If you'll just go just a little bit so they can squiggle around you to line up. Graduates, prepare for your diplomas. Stand, turn, take a deep breath, and go line up. Wants to hear, they worked hard to hear their child's name called. There will be a delay between them. The next person will not come up if the other one is seated, so that everyone will have ample time to take their pictures. All right, faculty, if you will stand.
Marwa Albidari. Alexis Alexander. Tyrese Blackman. Malik Bryant. Dejawan Clark. Dawn Helm. Chantrell Hillman. Dariana Johnson. Danielle Kears. Douglas Kears. Devin McBride. Logan Rourke. Alvante Samuel. Kevin Soka. Samantha Wheaton.
I wore your shirt. All right, our light is completed. Go, Chunk. Go, Chunk.
Tearing things up. We also have a Presidential Award for Educational Excellence that we would like to present on the behalf of the President's Education Awards Program. And this goes to Logan Rourke for outstanding academics. Before we give all the graduates a final round of applause, and this is not to embarrass anyone at all, but I would like for all of the first generation high school graduates to please stand. This is amazing for a class of 16 to have this many students who have defied the odds, who have broken the generational barriers, and have gone far beyond anyone thought they would. Let's give them a round of applause. I need all of the graduates to please Please rise. Having met the standards set forth by the Florida Department of Education, I now recognize you as graduates of Cornerstone Christian School, class of 2020. Please face your families and move your tassels. You can sit back down. At this time, we would like to welcome Mr. White to close us in prayer. I'm sorry, no, we would not. We would like to welcome Dejuan to the stage. I'm sorry. I was a little nervous. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm just kind of shaking. Dejuan.
Bad, kind of a little bit. Now to present the slideshow that they made for our class of 2010.
I close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care if they call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night I am in the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of what I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make. There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away. Special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds. See, I don't care if they call us crazy. Run away to a world that we design. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've loved